Uli Jon Roth. Best dress shredder or best dress shredder of all time? You be the judge. Hello Suckamaniacs, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here's your good pal, Uncle Ben. Uli Jon Roth of Germany's own Scorpions. Let me tell you kids, Uli was shredding neoclassical licks before your stepdad even went to his first Yngwie Malmsteen concert. To be fair though, he was also shredding neoclassical licks before Yngwie Malmsteen went to his first Yngwie Malmsteen concert. I'd like to go on record as saying that Uli is one of the most underappreciated guitar players of all time. While Yngwie Malmsteen was at the center of the neoclassical explosion that took over the 80s, Uli Jon Roth was definitely the guy that lit the spark, and I'm sure that Yngwie would tell you the same thing. But of course he'd also be saying it wearing leather pants and a frilly shirt and lots of watches and rings and stuff like that. Uli was one of the first guys out there to take classical ideas like the harmonic minor scale and diminished arpeggios and stuff them into a rock context and play them on electric guitar. He's also one of the first guys out there to start playing a 7-string guitar, which I think a lot of people don't realize. He's been playing a 7-string a really long time. The lick we're studying today comes from the classic Scorpions track Sails of Charon, which opens up with a really sick guitar solo. I couldn't believe that this was produced in 1977 whenever I heard it. The level that his playing is at and the kind of licks that he's playing are stuff that wouldn't be heard for another decade. And there he was busting it out in 1977. It's pretty amazing stuff. If you listen through that, you'll be blown away by how little gain he's using, how clean his playing sounds, and you're also going to hear licks that you've heard Yngwie use, you're going to hear licks that you've heard Marty Friedman use, and lots of other guys. It's really, really cool. If you've never checked out that song, be sure to scope it out. This lick is based around the Phrygian Dominant scale, which is perfect for all your exotic scale choices. It features some really unorthodox picking. Whenever I heard this lick the first time, I thought it was kind of your standard, picking plus pull-offs kind of approach that I've heard from a lot of other rock and metal players. But upon closer examination, I realized that it was what I would call in a technical term, extremely fucked off. It's really unique stuff for sure that I've not really seen in a lot of other dudes playing. So be sure to watch it closely as we check out this lick in Stepdad Speed. And as always, kids, you can find a full tab for this week's lick on Uncle Ben's Instagram page. Go to Instagram, find me over there. My username is BenEllerGuitars. Look at the pictures of my cute puppy dogs. Find the tab for this week's lick. Learn how to play it and upload a video of you shredding it along with the hashtag Weekend Wankshop. So first things first, before we get into the lick, let's talk about the extremely weird and bothersome picking that Uli is doing in this passage here. So, again, whenever I went into this, I figured it was typical rock kind of stuff where, you pick a bunch of notes and then do a pull-off on the last one before you change strings, that kind of thing. But I was really wrong about it. I watched some live footage of him playing it, and I noticed that it looked like his picking hand was always in motion, just like this right here. And that led to some kind of unusual discoveries about it. I guess you could say that this lick is alternate picking, kind of. It is alternating downstrokes and upstrokes, but in a really weird way. So here's the deal. The lick with the left hand is based in triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. That kind of idea like that we've explored before. But the really unusual thing about this is while the left hand is busting out those triplets, the right hand is busting out what amounts to a blues shuffle kind of rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, If you want to get really technical about that rhythm, what's going on is for every one of those triplets that's going by, you're playing a downstroke on tri, nothing on pa, that'll be handled by a hammer-on or pull-off, and then let is handled with an upstroke. So you end up with this trip-pa-let, 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 where we don't play on pa, we just play on tri and let, or notes 1 and 3 of a triplet, just like a blues rhythm. Again, this is really unusual for me. I was expecting a straight up alternate pick thing or a, don't pick the last note of the lick kind of idea like we see in a lot of other tunes. What helped me get this picking pattern down is to take the first segment of this solo and just play it over and over again like I did just a second ago. Here's the very first segment. I'm starting off on my 7th fret B string, and then I'm going to hammer on fret number 8, and then I'm going to upstroke here on fret 10. Next what I'm going to do is downstroke on fret 8, pull off to fret number 7. So far we've had down, hammer, up, down, pull, upstroke on the 9th fret G. If you can just repeat that phrase a few times, down, hammer, up, down, pull, up, down, hammer, up, down, pull, up. That'll help you get the hang of this, because again, the entire time through the lick, that's all the right hand is doing. It'll be changing strings in a bunch of really odd spots. You'll go from upstroke to downstroke a few times. You'll go from downstroke to upstroke a few times, changing strings like that. Again, as long as you're on one string, it's not weird. But whenever you get to changing strings with it, that's where it gets really complicated. But the great thing is this will help you out on all those different string changing mechanics that you need in order to shred like a beast. So the only part of the solo that doesn't incorporate Uli's now signature fucked off picking is this little thing he does to start the solo, which a lot of guitar players would see and think, oh, it's some kind of a diminished chord because it has a little flat 5 in it. And that's not entirely wrong, but it's not exactly right in this context either. See, the thing is he's playing against kind of a B7 sort of chord sound in that riff. And a B7 is made up of these notes. It's made up of the 1st, which is B, the 3rd, which is D sharp, 5th, which is F sharp, the flat 7, which is A, and the root, which is B. Now the interesting thing about this is there is a diminished triad lurking inside of every dominant 7 chord. Every happy dominant 7 chord that you've heard in a Beatles song or something like that has a diminished triad sitting inside of it. If you just play the 3rd, the 5, and the flat 7, that sounds like a diminished chord, and it is. That is a diminished triad right there. So what he's doing whenever he plays this lick right here, which goes sliding into 6th fret A, sliding into 7th fret D, sliding into 8th fret G, and sliding into 10th fret B, he's not necessarily playing a diminished thing. He's just playing the diminished triad that's lurking inside of a B7. So next he gets into the juicy stuff, starting off here at a 7th fret B string. Now again, this is based on Phrygian Dominant, which is the same notes as an E harmonic minor scale, the Yngwie scale, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D sharp, E. Phrygian Dominant's the same stuff, just starting from the B note, yada yada yada. So this lick is starting us off here at the 7th fret on the B string, F sharp note. What you're going to do is you're going to play that note and then hammer on a fret 8, pick the 10th fret B, pick the 8th fret B, pull off to 7, upstroke the 9th fret G, downstroke the 8th fret B, pull off to 7th fret B, upstroke the 9th fret G, downstroke the 8th fret G, hammer on to 9, upstroke the 7th fret B. So again, that was 7th B, 8th fret B, 10th fret B, 8th fret B, 7th fret B, 9th fret G, 8th fret B, 7th fret B, 9th fret G, 8th fret G, 9th fret G, 7th fret G. God damn, that's a mouthful. The next section of the lick, Uli slides down the B string to a new position of notes kind of centered around here at the 4th position. Now usually I see people play this with slides, like that. And again, if you're doing Uli's picking, it turns out a little bit different. There actually ends up being no slides at all, which is kind of interesting. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off on that 8th fret B again, pull off to 7, jump down to fret 5 and do an upstroke. Now again, it wasn't a slide like that. I snapped that upstroke as soon as the finger got down here to fret 5. Next, you're going to play the 7th fret B, pulling off the 5th fret B, upstroke on 4th fret B. So now we got this. Next part here, we're going to play the 5th fret B, pulling off to 4, upstroke on the 5th fret G, downstroke on the 4th fret G, hammer on to 5. Then we're going to do the 4th fret B. So that lick turned out like this. 8, pull off to 7, 5, 7, pull off to 5, 4, 5, pull off to 4, 5th G, 4th, hammer on to 5, 4. The next lick is a descending thing from this 4th position. What we're going to do is we're going to play the 5th fret B, pulling off to 4, 7th fret G, 5th fret G, pulling off to 4, 7th fret D. Then we're going to backtrack here. 5th fret G, 4th fret G is a pull off, 7th fret D, 5th fret D, 4th fret D is a pull off, and ending on the 7th fret A. So that was 5th B, pulling off to 4, 7th G, 5, pulling off to 4, 7th D, 5th G, pulling off to 4, 7th D, 5th, pulling off to 4, 7th A, and there we go. And now for the last part of the lick, he does this little ascending and descending thing that starts off on the D string, fret 4. Fret 4 D with a hammer on to 5, upstroke on 7th fret D. Next we're going to play 4th fret G with a hammer on to 5, 7th fret, 5th fret pulling off to 4, 7th fret D, 5th fret pulling off to 4, ending on that 7th fret A string. And then after that, the very last thing you're going to do is skip a string and end up on the 4th fret B, which is the root note against that B chord you're playing against. Smart move. So there you go, kids, another sick lick to add to the good old wank bank. Be sure to go back and listen to some of Uli's early classic work with the Scorpions, and I assure you, you'll be blown away to hear a guy shredding that hard in the 1970s, playing like a Strat through a Marshall with no gain on it, prime mistake finder tone, and playing clean as a whistle. Really cool stuff. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to stay in tune with my shenanigans on Twitter and Instagram at BenEllerGuitars. Also, if you're interested in booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with Uncle Ben here, be sure to drop me an email, BenEllerGuitars@gmail.com. We'll talk about rates and times and all that stuff and get you set up to learn real good. Thanks again. Stay tuned for more cool shit next week. Take it easy.